Hello, this is about the rough-toothed dolphin. So, let's get to it. They live off the coast of Hawaii and the Gulf of Mexico, as well as the Pacific Ocean. Get ready to learn all about this animal in just a minute. Have you ever seen a rough-toothed dolphin? It belongs to the kingdom Animalia. Its phylum is Chordata. The class is Mammalia. The order is Cetacea. The suborder is Odontia. The family is Delphinidae. The genus is Steno. They are harpooned in West Africa and Japan. Even though they are endangered, there are 150,000 rough-toothed dolphins. Did you know if you were drowning, these dolphins would probably save your life and bring you to shore like a lifeguard? Do you love this little dolphin yet? If you do not, you will. So let's get to the identification. The rough-toothed dolphin is spotted and is sometimes scarred from fights with sharks. These dolphins are a meter long when they are born. The rough-toothed dolphin is 7 to 8 feet long and are occasionally 9.5 feet long. Its weight is around 350 pounds. The rough-toothed dolphin has large, rough teeth. People in West Africa and Japan harpoon and sell the meat or eat the meat from these dolphin corpses. These little dolphins are endangered because of these people. If you like this dolphin and don't want to see this little guy go extinct, you better tell these people to stop harpooning the dolphins or else they might go extinct. The rough-toothed dolphin lives in all the places I've already listed. They also live in deep tropical warm waters and most of the time near the equator. However, they do not migrate. They like hanging on the beach, wading in the nice shallow water with their friends, with all the other fish that will most likely get eaten by these dolphins. These dolphins hunt in teams called pods. They eat fish, squid, and octopus. When they hunt for prey, they circle around the fish and attack. When they get squid or octopus, it's an unusual occasion because it's very difficult to get squid or octopus. When the rough-toothed dolphin swims in pods, they communicate by making echoing sounds to each other. The rough-toothed dolphin sometimes swims along the side of boats. This dolphin is sometimes held in captivity in amusement parks like Six Flags or SeaWorld. They are trained to do tricks for us. It is proven that rough-toothed dolphins do not enjoy being forced to do tricks. They probably like their tasty treats at the park, but they swim very low and can stay underwater for up to 15 minutes. They like playing with the common bottlenose dolphin. The rough-toothed dolphin rests half their brains at a time when they sleep. These dolphins sometimes swim with Homo sapiens sapiens, also known as humans. This will be a very short section because it is about reproduction, and there's not much known about the rough-toothed dolphin's reproduction. So, don't really ask about it. These dolphins are very hard to find, but if you see a rough-toothed dolphin, then it would be a very rare sighting because this is an endangered species that should not get poached or hurt in any way. This is not the common bottlenose dolphins or the spotted dolphin. This is a rough-toothed dolphin.
Hi. Hi, Ethan. How are you? I do know that Mission Blue has partners that do dolphin conservation, and dolphins in general are just very close to all of our hearts. They're some of the most charismatic, amazing animals. And I haven't seen a rough-toothed dolphin in the wild, but I have gone snorkeling with dolphins in Florida in the wild before, which was an incredible experience.
What are they like? What do they
They're so friendly. Dolphins are really curious. You can tell they're really smart when you're in the water with them. When I went snorkeling with them, I was in high school. I was probably 17 years old. And I went on this trip where they took a bunch of teenagers out into um, somewhere off the Florida Keys. I think it was off of Key West, kind of onto a sandbar where dolphins sometimes hang out. And there was a pod of dolphins, and they were just kind of swimming around. And the people on the boat said, okay, you're not allowed to touch them. It's illegal to touch dolphins in the wild, but if you swim fast enough and make funny noises, they might come up to you and say hi. So I jumped off the boat when it was my turn and swam as fast as I could off the boat, kind of angling sort of to intersect with the dolphins without getting too close to them. And I was squeaking and making clicking noises and doing everything I could to act like a dolphin. And it worked. It was amazing. A couple dolphins came up to me. One of them just kind of zoomed by, and I saw its eye looking right into my eye. It was so cool. And then a baby dolphin actually came up to me and looked at me, and then it sort of flipped upside down under me, and its belly turned pink. It was like it was blushing. It was so cute. Yeah.
Didn't Sylvia Earle live with dolphins?
She lived underwater for a couple weeks, a few different times. I don't know if she ever saw dolphins when she was down there, but she spent a few different expeditions living 50 feet below the surface of the water in an underwater laboratory. The first time it was called the Tektite 2 expedition, and it was all female aquanauts, these women that just all lived underwater together, and they didn't surface for like over a week. It was crazy. And they really, I don't know if they saw dolphins, but they really got to know the ecosystem and all the individual fish kind of in the neighborhood in a way that divers don't usually get to do because they don't get to spend enough time down there.
Mm-hmm. And, well, how did they live down there? Did they, have a structure that was built underwater? Or a submarine?
Yeah, so the Tektite expedition was one of a few different underwater laboratories that were built. It's like a sunken submarine is kind of what it looks like. It's just like a big metal structure that they attach to the seafloor, and there's air, obviously, pumped inside so you can live in it. So they have like extra oxygen in there to keep everything kind of okay in terms of supporting everyone's life. But it's kind of crazy because to go out into the water, which is the whole point, to go explore and go scuba diving and then come back without going to the surface, you have to go through what they call the moon pool. And you jump it's sort of like when you're in the bathtub and you hold a cup full of air upside down in the tub, and there's air in the cup, but not...
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't fill with water. It's sort of like you jump through that into the water, and then you come back up into the air.
That's what I used to think whirlpools were like, but I was wrong, obviously. But
yeah.
That's what I used to think.
I've never been down into one of those, but it sounds so fun, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It'd be so cool, yeah.
So, well, have you ever, taken care of a dolphin or something like?
You know, I did a little bit when I was doing that trip in Florida when I got to snorkel with dolphins. It was part of this thing called Dolphin Camp, which sounds kind of dorky, but it was really fun. But they tried to show us kind of different ways humans interact with dolphins, and so part of that was with semi-captive dolphins that can come into a kind of an enclosed, I don't want to say theme park. It wasn't like SeaWorld or anything, but it was entertaining for people. So it wasn't the most kind of humane, amazing thing ever. Like, I don't know, I feel kind of mixed about it in terms of how good it was for the dolphins, but they showed us kind of how the dolphins would swim in and be fed and sort of interact with people swimming with them and then leave. So we did, as part of that, get to, prepare food for them and do stuff like that. So I've fed dolphins before, but I don't really feel good about it because I don't really think that dolphins should be kept captive. But climate change is one of the big issues affecting everything in the ocean because climate change is making the ocean warmer and seawater more acidic because carbon dioxide, which is that greenhouse gas that comes out of cars and airplanes and coal plants, is it's getting into the atmosphere. So it's creating this sort of like warm blanket around Earth. So that's making everything warmer, including the ocean. And then that same CO2 gas is dissolving into the seawater, into the ocean. And when that happens, it makes the seawater more acidic, sort of like vinegar instead of water.
I like
Slowly
vinegar.
that's happening. You like vinegar?
Mhm.
I do too. But imagine living in a bathtub full of vinegar.
That wouldn't be very fun
Yeah.
especially for the smaller animals.
Especially for smaller animals and for animals that need to make stony, seashells around them to protect them. Because in more acidic water, shells and coral skeletons and things like that dissolve.